Guys, Jay here, college football preview time. Sorry, I'm kind of just done my workout, so still a little sweaty and wearing my sleeveless shirt. So bear with me. Just want to get it quick in today. It's almost 7 o'clock tonight, so on the West Coast. Biggest thing that came out today: Urban Meyer getting in trouble. Hiding some domestic violence stuff from his coach. Denied it, and it looks as like they're going to do an investigation. He's on administrative pay leave. Who knows what's going to happen there? But you want my opinion? He probably gets fired. And why? You don't be the top guy and hide stuff. That's going to happen, and he's gone, and that's a big deal. I think they lose him. I think they lose recruits for next year. They might even let some guys transfer because of that. That's going to be a huge scandal possibly, and not the right time for that to happen right before we're a month out from the season starting, and you're supposed to win the Big 12 or the Big 10. Who knows what they're called, right? 14 teams or whatever. Who knows? But they're possibly not going to even compete. They have talent out the yang. Don't get me wrong. Who knows who their starting quarterback's going to be, Tate Martell or whoever, but we'll see what happens. But we'll get back to it in a second. Let me know what you think. Here comes the college football preview. College football preview. Boomer. All right. Let's get on with it. Let's start with the Big Ten since Urban Meyer got in trouble today. We'll go right there. Big Ten. Ohio State was my number one a couple weeks ago. That's changed. I think it's going to be Michigan. Shea Patterson comes in. Huge recruit for them. And that could be a big deal. Watch out for Iowa. Watch out for Penn State and Northwestern. Northwestern won 10 games last year. Watch out for them boys. They're quiet. Quietly good. They're pretty steady. Michigan State's always that creeper, though. Them guys are, well coached. Good atmosphere. Man, I love the Big Ten. I think they're a really strong conference. The top to bottom, they're pretty solid. Even with Rutgers coming along, Maryland's pretty solid. It's a strong group, man. Top to bottom, they're a good group, and they're fun to watch. I like the Big Ten. Look at their bowl games. They always produce. They always have a lot of wins in bowl games, which, if you were to base who the best conference was on a bowl game from last year? Is it the Big Ten? I think so. They like 8 wins or some shit. They're crazy, dude. Worst team or worst conference? Is it the Pac-12? Did they win a bowl game? One, mate? They suck, dude. I'm sorry. They did not play well in bowl games, which is disappointing because there's some good teams in that conference. UW, I think, is a team to really watch out for. They could easily make the college football playoff. Colorado took a step back last year after having a really good year the year before. USC is going to drop off. You don't lose your quarterback, running back, fullback, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, corners. They're not the USC of old, okay? They don't reload. They rebuild, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to bring a brand new starting quarterback in who probably has never taken it down in college football, in Daniels. Don't get me wrong. That dude's he's a good high school quarterback, and I just don't see them making the leap. UW's too strong there. I think Oregon takes a step back, having their head coach leave. They haven't been the same since Chip Kelly left anyway. Speaking of Chip Kelly, watch out for UCLA. They had a decent recruiting class. That guy is a winner, continues to put good talent out. He's got a tough scheme to play defensively. So that game between Oklahoma and UCLA early, the next 2 years, is going to be awesome. Without a doubt, albeit the one when Oklahoma plays at UCLA, probably my last year in California. So I got to go to that. Got to go to the Coliseum ring. That'll be a fun game to go watch, and who knows? But watch out for UCLA. They could get some people. Arizona's creepy too. Khalil Tate is the real deal. That dude's an athlete. And is he a great quarterback? I don't think so. I think he's a good athlete, can run, mix it up for you really well. And watch out for Arizona. Rich Rod's, a decent enough coach. He can pull some wins out. After that, I don't think they're a really strong conference. Utah's okay. You just don't know what you're going to get with Utah. Colorado fell off, like I said. Oregon State is not very good at all. Stanford's pretty solid. They have one of the best running backs in the country, if not the best running back in the country, who that kid can run, dude. I mean, he can get it, right? I mean, he finished second in the Heisman last year, and he's not a big dude, anything like that, but he's an athlete. So watch out for him. I like that group. Moving on to the SEC. The SEC had the worst conference last year, even though they had the top two teams in the national championship. So we'll see what happens with them. Be right back after this drama. Okay, in Big 12, Oklahoma State really they have Dax Hill, their running back. That kid's a real deal. He's a good running back. I think he averaged 6 yards a carry or something like that last year. They're going to be solid. TCU's always solid, whether they get a brand new quarterback, a quarterback in waiting. Their defense is stout. The running back is really good. They've got 2 solid receivers. Had a true freshman receiver in Jalen Reagor last year. Won freshman of the year. Don't know if he should have won that over CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb had more yards receiving, more catches, I think. I mean, I don't really know why Jalen Reagor won that over CeeDee Lamb. But I think the main reason is they didn't want to give every award to Oklahoma. And Oklahoma's players they were doing it. And I think they kind of had to throttle back and give it to somebody else. And that's where they could make the move is for Jalen. And I like the kid. I think he's a solid athlete. He's a good receiver. And he will test some corners for sure. I think Baylor is actually a decent team. I get that they lost a lot of players, and they might be the Big 12's Kentucky or the Big 12's Tennessee, but offensively, they can score some points. They lost 4 or 5 games last year by less than a touchdown. They could have been bowl eligible that quick, and who knows what's going to happen with them. I think they actually make a leap. I think they actually win 6 games. Kansas, did okay, right? And some points. Kansas is always one of the worst teams in college football. Them, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, teams like that. It's funny, dude. Kansas needs to stick to basketball, I guess. But watch out for teams, that can make some moves. And who knows what Texas is going to do. I want Texas to do well. Okay? They need to lose 1 game. Well, 2 actually, because if they lose 2, that means they lost twice to Oklahoma. And I think Oklahoma can go undefeated. They've got some tests, though, man. Florida Atlantic, FAU, won 11 games last year, and they're like the last chance U of Division I football. And it's a real thing because they've got like 6 or 7 players that from last chance U on that team. And Oklahoma plays them first week. So that'll be a fun game to watch. Week 2, they've got a Big 12 game. Oklahoma does. Then they play UCLA. They play Army. Okay, so all 3 of their teams went to a bowl game that they're going to play, which is awesome, and that's fun to see. Florida Atlantic, I knew that they were going to win their bowl game. I don't care if anybody says that. That was an easy call for me. That was on my college pick'em. They were in my number 1, actually. I would have taken the points in that game. So watch out. The Oklahoma has some tests, right? It's not near as strong as it was last year. Last year's non-conference schedule, pretty ridiculous. With having Ohio State in general, that's a crazy offense, crazy team. Team that, in my opinion, should have been the big, in the playoffs. They should have gotten in over Alabama. They won their conference. They had a much tougher schedule, but you let in Alabama because They lost 2 games. They lost to Auburn. They didn't win their conference. I'm sorry, that was the wrong decision. I get they won national title, right? But they weren't healthy. Ohio State wasn't healthy for most of the year, but at the end of the season, they were healthy. So they would have been a team that beat Alabama recently, right? Who won their conference, who had a much tougher schedule, right? Having to beat Wisconsin, who was undefeated going into that. I just don't like that big jump from Alabama last year, and I think that sucked for them, for Ohio State, and that's probably why there's a little tension there. Who knows? Dude, this college football season, just like every college football season, is going to be amazing. And I will give you weekly updates on what I think is going to be happening. I'll probably do it every Sunday before, fantasy football. Maybe I'll do an early fantasy football the night before. That way you guys can set your lineups for me. It's going to be a fun year, and I appreciate you guys following back. Stick with me. We're growing. We're getting better and better. Boomer Sooner, and can't wait, guys. Cool.